Welcome to episode 8 of my 15-minute crochet series. Today's 15-minute project is this mini pumpkin, which is perfect for the spooky season. Last episode we made a really cute ghost keychain, so if you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. This mini pumpkin should only take about 15 minutes, but if you're a beginner, it could take longer because you're learning stitches for the first time. For supplies, we will need an orange and a brown size 4 acrylic yarn, a 3.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a darning needle, and some stuffing. We're starting with the orange yarn and we'll be doing a slip knot. How you do that is you hold your yarn like so. Your left hand will twist. Your right two fingers will grab this yarn right here, pull it all the way up until you make a loop. That is a slip knot. And then you take your crochet hook, insert it into that loop right here, and then tighten it a little bit like so. Okay, now we're going to make 8 chains. So you chain by yarning over and pulling through the loop that is already on your hook. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and make 8 of these chains. Once you're done your 8 chains, it should be about this long. And now we're going to start on row number 1. So over here, you see this stitch right here, you insert your hook through there and we're gonna make a single crochet. So yarn over, pull through this stitch, and then you yarn over again and pull through these 2 loops. That's a single crochet. On the next stitch, we do the exact same thing. Insert your hook and make a single crochet. On the next one, we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook through the next stitch right here. Yarn over, pull through that stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a half double crochet. Next stitch, we repeat this half double crochet. So, like so. And then do 1 more half double crochet. So that's 3 half double crochets. And then on the next stitch, we do a single crochet again. Right here. Insert, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. The last one we'll do a single crochet again. So essentially what we did was 2 single crochets, 3 half double crochets, and then 2 single crochets again. Now chain 1, flip your work like so, and then we're going to work on the back loop only. How you find the back loop is you turn your work like this. You see how there's V's right here. You look for the top of each V. So right here, you just insert your hook under that. So basically, these are the V's, right? You take your hook and you're going to insert it into the middle so that you only take the back loop. Let me demonstrate that real quick. So we're going to make a single crochet, right? So insert your hook in the middle of the V and you only go through the back loop and then you complete your single crochet. On the next stitch, you're going to repeat that. Right here, you just insert in the middle of that V. So you only take the back loop and then you make another single crochet. Next, still working on the back loop, we do a half double crochet. Yarn over and then insert in the back loop. So you're going to make 3 half double crochets. After the 3 half double crochets, you're going to do 2 single crochets, and all of this will always be on the back loop. So you could probably see the pattern now. We're just going to keep repeating the 2 single crochets, 3 half double crochets, and then 2 single crochets again for every single row that we do. So here I am. I've just finished my last single crochet. This is how it should look like. I chain 1, flip my work, and repeat the whole process again. So that's 2 single crochets in the back loop, 3 half double crochets, and 2 single crochets again, all in the back loop. And then after every row, you just make sure that you chain 1 and then you flip your work over and then repeat the whole thing again. So you're going to keep doing this for 14 rows overall, and then we'll meet back once the 14 rows are done. If you're not sure how many rows you've done or you're not sure how to count the rows, I will show you in a bit how you can measure it and count the rows to make sure you're doing it correctly. Okay, so this is how 14 rows should look like. And I'll show you how I counted. So over here, this is one row. 1. Over here is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 14 rows. And then if I were to measure it, if you're still unsure, here's my measuring tape. And it's about 4 inches long. The tail should also be in opposite sides, and even if it's flipped the other way, like so, it's still going to be on the opposite ends. Okay, so to continue, I just finished my chain 1, and then I'm going to cut a long tail, like so. And then I'm going to take this crochet hook and pull upwards so that it creates a knot. Next, we're just going to thread our darning needle because we're going to start sewing this closed. So I'm just going to fold it like so. Then I take my needle and insert it right here, all the way to the other side. And then you just pull all the way until you close it and just repeat the whole process. So I always start from this bottom flap. I insert my needle, pull all the way to the other side, and just repeat it until you get to the other side. Okay, so now that that's done, it should all be connected like so. And then I just insert my needle again back here and create a knot by putting it under this loop. Oh, it got tangled for a second. But yeah, just make sure you make a knot, whether it's making a double knot or however you want to do it so that it's secure. And then we're not going to cut it. We're going to sew all the way around this, so that we can close the bottom part of the pumpkin. So here I am. I'm not strict on where you're putting your needle here, but basically just go back and forth. Don't skip too many stitches though, so that it looks cleaner. But here I'm just going up and down, back and forth, until you get back to where you started before I pull it all the way. Okay, so we made it to the other side. I'm going to take this tail and pull all the way until it's completely closed. This might take a lot of effort because you're going to see all this is bunching up together. So you're going to need a lot of force to make sure that there is no hole there. And then what I do is I double knot using the other tail so that it stays completely secure. Then I just cut this long tail a bit shorter. Then we're gonna move on to the other side. Okay, so you basically just do the exact same thing for the top, which is just sewing back and forth. I'm just using the leftover tail that I had so I don't waste yarn. But yeah, just do the exact same thing of sewing back and forth. Now, before we cinch it closed completely, I'm gonna stuff it. And for this, you might have to stuff it quite a bit. I stuff it more than I normally do for my plushies, just because this, what we did is very stretchy, so you could keep stuffing it in order to get the shape that you want. So this is how much I stuffed it. And then this is when I will pull the tail so that it can close completely. For this, make sure that no stuffing is poking out so that it looks cleaner and more professional looking. Okay, so now that the hole is closing a bit more, I use these two tails to just make a double knot like I did last time. Then using my darning needle, I just take these tails and I basically just insert it back into the body of the pumpkin. and then I cut it, and then I do the exact same thing for the tail on the other side. So just make sure no tails are out, and then we can move on to the stems. Okay, so now we're using the dark brown yarn for the stem. First, we're going to make a slip knot. We did this for the pumpkin as well, but if you need a refresher, this is how I do it. I take my crochet hook, insert it into the loop, and I adjust it so that it's smaller, and then I make 4 chains. So yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop until you have 4 chains. And then it's a bit hard to see, but the next stitch, which is right here, I insert my hook and make a slip stitch. So you yarn over, pull through this one, and then pull through the one on your hook as well. That's a slip stitch. And then you're going to do the same thing here, and then also on this last chain, do a slip stitch. And then I chain 1, and then I cut my yarn about this much. And then I take my crochet hook and pull all the way up so that it makes a knot. That's basically it for the stem. And now we're going to attach it to the top of this pumpkin. So here's my crochet hook. I'm going to put it where I want the stem to be. This is where I want it to sit. So then I take this tail, and using my hook, I pull it all the way to the other side. And now all you have to do is, using these 2 tails, you just do a double knot. And then I will just take my darning needle and then feed these tails through the pumpkin again before cutting it. And that is basically it. That is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun making these mini pumpkins. Have a great Halloween season, and I'll see you all next week.